I've been farming in this area all my life. I'm on the original homestead in which my great-grandfather settled around 150 years ago.
Well, I've been on this run for 3 years now. Well, that is between Florida and Canada. If weather, and the holidays aren't against me, I can load up and I can generally make it to the border within a week usually.
I've seen a great many changes in farming in the area. Used to be every place along the road was farmed. Nowadays, there's only about 1 in 3 is farmed any longer.
It's a good business to be in. The pay's good, and well, let's face it, there's a constant demand for fresh fruit and vegetables all year round. The only worry we have is competitors, or if one of the trucks breaks down, but this hasn't happened to us yet.
If he doesn't get over-ambitious, there is still a good chance for the small farmer to survive.
The American farmer most definitely controls the market. They can grow and export foods more cheaply than we can due to their mechanization and cheaper things. They have cheaper machinery, whereas we can't compete with them. I sort of hate to see the old farming methods or life going away, kids are all getting away from the farm, I think the farm life is going at a steady rate.
In a way, the United States is sort of running our country now. They import quite a bit. Their products I think, are of a higher quality than ours.
I think I'd buy Canadian, just to back Canada. But if they're not available, I'll buy American.
Well, they shouldn't import anything that we can manufacture or grow ourselves. There's too much imported during our own growing season from the States, which makes it hard for our own farmers to grow stuff.
There are some deserted farmhouses in the area that have been allowed to fall down bit by bit until they aren't fit for anyone to live in. They have become eyesores to the people who live nearby, and it's rather a shame that they haven't been kept up, because they could have been very pleasant places for people to live.
This gentleman had a very prosperous farm, and due to hard work he fell ill. Then some, I would call them prospectors, came to see him if he would sell a farm. But even on his deathbed, he was not willing to sign the papers. But through the trickery of some sharp operators, took his wife and gave her some frying pans, watches, and gold. Something the same as when the white men bought island of Manhattan from the Indians. And now that property is completely in ruins because the way the farm was sold.
The small farmer, like the country store, like the small machine shop, has gone out of business. They tell us that the small school is no longer efficient, and a great deal of emphasis seems to have been put on bigness. There is a place for the small craftsman, but we like to go for mass-produced things, and this seems to be the sign of the times.
$1.70. Now, who's next? 2 pounds of cherries? Oh, there's the girl that wants a nice cherry. Let's go, boy. There we go.
I don't think the small farm can produce efficiently anymore and have a reasonable standard of living. It's one of the things that's just going to disappear, I believe, because people just don't want to work long hours for a little pay anymore.
The operation of farming nowadays is so time-consuming. You have to perhaps cut down social life and pretty well working 70 to 80 hours a week. Myself, I was offered a job in a close-by city and could make more money there and spend less time working for it.
I guess there are very few of my friends who are dropping out of school to become farmers, and so you're happiest where your friends are. I carried along with them, and of course he drifted away from the farm.
It is really depressing because I feel that I know these houses have held the, it's the family that's gone, and the farm, the empty buildings give a complete feeling of emptiness and loneliness. The land is there for productivity and there's nothing doing on it. It's just empty.
Fortunately, we have some museums, not enough, I think, but places like Upper Canada Village have done a remarkable job of preserving the historical past.
land speculators in this part of the country have done and are doing considerable harm to agriculture, in that they are buying up, in most cases, some of the best farms, and they may be holding them for 10, 15, or 20 years. In that time, this land is going to waste, but the biggest damage they do is that the high price they can afford to pay for the land sets a false value on the land, in that a young man that wanted to farm can no longer buy land. The way it is going at present, the planning boards in the various townships have no overall control, and first thing you know, a farm is sold and houses spring up in no time and the farm is gone. The agricultural land is disappearing very fast in this part of the country.
I think the small farmers will vanish in the future. I think eventually they will be non-existent in our communities.
The older farmers are set in their ways, but they have accomplished a lot, and I feel you have to accept some of the things they have done. You aren't about to change them overnight, and well, actually, I think they'll just have to die out, and the new farmer will have to take over. The reason that I've gone back to agriculture is you're your own boss. Usually, you've got a job in a factory, and it's the same thing day after day after day. Whenever somebody comes around, I can never remember that, you never had time to stop and talk to them. There's always time, whereas in the factory, you have to put in your 8 hours, and if they see you just lacking at the job or something, there's somebody right there to tell you. And back at the farm, it changes with the season, in the winter, you're feeding livestock, and in the spring, you're planting your crops. In the fall, you're taking off your crops. It's never really the same thing. It's a change all the time.